Engagifii is excited to introduce a powerful new capability called Event Bundles. Events, workshops, and conferences offer associations powerful opportunities to engage with and learn from their members, as well as conduct important trainings and other key member services. And we know how complex things can get. So before we start talking about bundles, let's break down an event into its core elements. Imagine a typical 3-day member conference. That conference is likely composed of the days themselves, day 1, 2, and 3, the important training classes you're conducting at the event, and more informal sessions like the keynote address or panel discussions. Every event breaks down into these 3 elements: days, classes, and sessions. Now, that's pretty easy, but what if you want one type of attendee to only be able to register for a particular set of classes and not another? What if the VIP reception is only for some specific set of people? Not all days, classes, sessions, or indeed attendees are necessarily created equal. So let's create a new event. Here, I'm simply going to create a 3-day conference. I'm very intentionally not going to set a default price because I want to create different bundles people can register for later on, so I don't want the event itself to have one overriding price for all attendees. I've said it's a 3-day event, so I'm going to go ahead and schedule my days out. And yes, I'm going to be offering accredited training at this event, so I'm going to toggle on the Add Classes option. We can create the classes themselves later on. Now that we have the shell of the event created, we're going to go build out its details. To do that, we're really going to focus our attention on 5 of these tabs: General, Sessions, Classes, Bundles, and Settings at the very end. Let's build out some of the details of the event by clicking the Edit button. The first thing we'll do is choose from our list of venues where these individual days are going to happen. Note that you can have different days happening at different venues. Next, I don't want people just walking up to the check-in desk, so I'm going to ask that everyone register in advance by turning on the "This event requires registration" and setting a limit. If my place can only support 800 people, I shouldn't take 1,000 registrations. I can set my registration dates now to where they turn on and turn off automatically, depending on which dates I put in. And then I can either copy paste or write in a nice description for my event. Finally, if I have a PDF of my full agenda, I can go ahead and upload that PDF here. And I'm done with the General tab. Now let's move on to Sessions. Now remember that sessions are one of the 3 main elements of an event. These are the non-credit earning gatherings of people at the conference. So I'm going to build out a couple of examples here. We'll start with a basic keynote address scheduled for the first day of the conference. But then on top of that, let's say that I've got 2 cohorts of trainings and meetings at this conference, required and advanced. And I'm going to build out 2 of each, giving them dates, times, and rooms as I go. Note that I can even give the event session itself a price. But just like the conference itself, if we're going to be bundling things together, then you're probably just going to leave this at 0. Okay, so we have 2 out of 3 of our main elements handled here. We've got our days defined and our sessions defined. Let's move on to creating classes. And as a quick reminder, these are gatherings that typically result in someone having earned credit. So if you use terms like CLE or education credits or continuing credits, classes are the sorts of gatherings where people earn credit. Remember how we set both required and advanced sessions? Well, let's do the same thing for classes. Let's say that I have a track that is for required training and another track that is for advanced training. And when someone registers, they choose one track or the other, or in our case, one bundle or the other. So just like we did with our sessions, I'm going to create 4 classes here, 2 for required and 2 for advanced. Once you have your classes configured, there is a slight separate process that you need to go through to enable them for registration themselves, and those are covered in a different article within the knowledge base. Believe it or not, we've actually finished putting the event itself together. All 3 elements, days, classes, and sessions, are all set up. Now, let's create a couple bundles so that your registrants are choosing the right combination of elements. Think for a moment of the ways that you've interacted with bundles in your everyday life. Fries are bundled in with your sandwich, for example, or a keyboard bundled in with a computer. When you buy the computer for $9.99, the keyboard is just figured into that total price. You're paying a bundled price and getting lots of individual pieces, like the keyboard, the mouse, and the monitor, included in that overall number. It's no different here. Engagifii lets you create bundles of your days, classes, and sessions, and we automatically include a full bundle with all elements included by default. So as I go through this full bundle, we'll see here all 4 classes that I'd created, all 3 days, and all of the sessions that I'd created. And if I want to sell this bundle, all I need to do is configure a price and enable it. So let's look at a couple of different ways of creating your own custom bundles. We've talked all along about having a required bundle and an advanced bundle for the different types of classes and sessions that I'm offering. Let's build out the required bundle here. I'm going to say that when someone buys this particular burger and fries, this particular bundle of training, that it's going to cost them $500 as a single overriding price. Maybe I give that bundle a nice description, and then I choose which elements, which classes, which sessions, and which days are going to be a part of this particular bundle. So being my required bundle, I'm choosing my required classes and sessions. And you can see here how the bundle is now comprised of 6 elements, 2 days, 2 classes, and 2 sessions. So let's say you want to offer date-based registration, and you want someone to register for day 1 and simply get everything that's included within day 1. No problem. I'm going to create a bundle here for 2 days, but you could easily do this for 1 day, 2 days, days 1 and 3, days 2 and 1, whatever combination you can imagine. Here, I'm just going to simply say days 2 and 3 are bundled in. And then I'm going to choose the classes and the sessions that are happening on days 2 and 3. That way, when someone registers for the day, they're getting all of the classes and all of the sessions within that day automatically. They don't need to go through any additional registration steps, and you're able to track credits very easily because now their name is on that class roster. So I'm again going to give it a price and enable the bundle. Once you've created all of your various bundles, don't forget to verify that you've got them all turned on. Now you'll note here that I never did add a price to the full bundle, and I don't want it to go for $0, and I don't think that there's a situation in which someone would come to everything that I have to offer. So I'm simply going to disable that particular bundle. And then the last thing that you'll go configure is in the Settings tab. That's the last of those tabs that we said we were going to look at earlier on. In here, you're effectively setting minimums. I'm going to require someone to register and choose at least 1 bundle, or at least 1 class, or both. So configure these at the event level, however you'd like to see them, and you're pretty much done inside the event. The only thing we have left to consider is registration workflows. Registration workflows are simply the series of steps that a registrant takes when registering for your event. So you can have as many different registration workflows as you want, some pointing at conferences, some pointing at classes, some pointing at workshops. In this case, I have one simple event registration workflow that right now you'll notice is expecting someone to choose their classes and their sessions. Now we've bundled all of that together. So what we're going to do is enable bundles, but disable classes and sessions. We don't need those. They're clubbed in with the bundles. Once we've done that, we hit save. And now that registration workflow will give the registrant the option to choose which bundle they want. Let's see what that looks like by logging in as a member. Now I'm logged in as Carla, and Carla is an assistant secretary, clerk for an organization that is our member. So when she goes through the registration process, she's experiencing that workflow we just put together. And here she chooses a couple of people, including herself, from her organization. Now the next step, we're evaluating whether there's any mandatory or important information missing from these profiles. These look great. If there were a problem, they would be outlined in red, and you would want to update that information before moving on to the next step. And so here you can see that Carla is selecting the bundles for her registrants. Once Carla completes the registration, she'll be met with this confirmation status screen, and she's done. Here we're logged back in as our admin, looking at this from an administrator's point of view. And you'll notice that when I go to the participant screen now, I can see that Carla and Jessica are both on my list. And if I click View Details, I can see exactly which days, classes, and sessions they're registered for. And that's all there is to it. Of course, if you need any help configuring your first bundled event, reach out to us at support@engagifii.com. Thank you so much for your partnership.